Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here, BTS5. We're going to be taking a look at some more EU action. Lyrical, Tsunami, your two casters in this one. You excited? I am. Danish Bears facing off against Planet Dog.
You should be excited, because now that day one has settled out, we've finally seen what is actually the competitive aspect and maybe the not-so-competitive aspect of the EU regional qualifiers. And these two teams are probably amongst the highest level right now. Planet Dog looked extremely strong after day one. They are currently tied for first place right now with a 4-1 score with Planet Dog, or them being Planet Dog with Team Secret and Team Singularity. Team Singularity just now got to that first place spot after a match earlier today. And they're going up against Danish Bears, which is currently second place with a score of 3-1. So whoever loses this game is going to get their second loss of the qualifier. Nothing too dramatic, but it's definitely going to be amongst the higher level matches that we've seen throughout this qualifier.
And the other big thing is the secondary map or game that's going on right now is the
Secret
Singularity versus Singularity,
right.
which to me is also one of those big defining games. So like, if you can get away with this one, Planet Dog, with a win, and then you're able to break even, or you're going to still be in contention for that spot. It's still in your hands. Otherwise, if you lose this match as Planet Dog, you lose a lot of that potential. And my goodness gracious, Invoker, Nature's Prophet, coming from C Dota, it's looking a hell of a lot different. I feel like Invoker, it's so hard to pick this into Queen of Pain. I don't know. I'm not completely sold for Danish Bears.
It's hard to pick this hero in general, but for some reason DB really likes running this Invoker. And it's oftentimes I feel that you need more setup than just one stun. In this situation they have just the Sand King. He needs Sunstrike setups, otherwise the laning phase is pretty difficult, especially like you said, specifically against a Queen of Pain. And it's a Queen of Pain with a fair amount of backup. Nature's Prophet can... We haven't really been seeing too many teleport rotations coming out of Nature's Prophet these days in these qualifiers, but the threat is still always there. The courier sniping threat is still always there, so that pressure can emerge. And same thing with Slardar in general. Slardar is not quite as good as Sand King, most would say, in this current meta, but still a very, very competent roamer. And a Rubik combined with that is it's intimidating for an Invoker to have to deal with.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think that that's something that it's a reason why we haven't seen this hero a ton. The PA to me also is a little bit interesting as far as like being able to secure objectives now, because oftentimes we've seen more teamfight oriented lineups supplemented by having strong tower pushes, and Invoker can be that, but you don't really want like Invoker sieging the tower. So to me this is much more like Danish Bears run and gun style, and then afterwards take objectives after the fact, as opposed to a slow siege that they might get.
Yeah, these heroes definitely are more acclimated to that sort of style, and Planet Dog have also pretty good anti-push as it is, so if any of these heroes are remaining, pushing is going to be pretty difficult. Hopefully PA can have a pretty solid laning phase. She's one of those heroes that can actually go up against a Nature's Prophet fairly well, because Blur provides mitigation against a lot of Prophet's damage, and she's a very natural poor man's shield builder, so that mitigates a lot of the treant damage. So that means that Disruptor won't have to spend too much time having to harass the Nature's Prophet, and Disruptor can spend time just trying to get experience in the meantime.
And maybe more importantly, it means that Sand King isn't going to be tied to that lane also.
Right.
So he can move around the map to the best of his abilities. Likewise now with the Earthshaker pick.
Yeah, so then maybe Sand King might just be off-laning then.
I mean, we've also seen offlane Earthshaker. Either one can work.
Yeah.
I guess would imagine it depends a lot upon what this hero is for Planet Dog. If you can pressure it, then Sand King would love to go there. Otherwise, Earthshaker can just play more of that suicide lane role where he just blocks off the wave and then gets whatever he can out of it.
Yeah, if it's some melee core, which Danish Bears actually banned out Anti-Mage, which is surprising to me. I mean, Anti-Mage is irritating to go up against as an Invoker, and same thing with a Phantom Assassin, but I don't really know if that would really fit too well with Planet Dog's style, because as it is, they already have one split-pushing hero with Nature's Prophet. You need to have more early game presence as a Planet Dog core, I would think. Maybe something like a Juggernaut? Oh, okay, so Lifestealer. I wanted someone who had spell immunity, and I mean, Lifestealer is seen way less frequently, but Swift Ending is a big Lifestealer fan. Whenever Lifestealer was like super meta, maybe many people considered him to be like one of the best. Like, it's hard to be the best at a hero who seems relatively one-dimensional, but believe me, there are levels to this thing, and Swift Ending was definitely on the next level.
Totally. I guess again what I'm looking at though is seeing like the Sand King there with an instant disable, Earthshaker being able to fissure from fog, Disruptor maybe laying down a static storm before Rage gets off. Like there's a lot of different ways to mess with that Lifestealer, and having the PA damage there, all in all, I mean, you want to put a hero that he's comfortable on, but do you really think that this is the best look for him? Do you like the pick?
It'll depend on how much farm these supports get. So it's if Initiation and Vision are on the side of Danish Bears, then Swift Ending's going to have a very tough time. But if Slaughter, on the Milan Slaughter, is able to get some farm, I mean, there's a lot of bomb potential. You can go into Nature's Prophet, you can go into Slaughter, you can go into Queen of Pain. And these are all heroes that will be useful at various stages of the game. Queen of Pain has a passive or an active spell blink, so she's going to be viable vehicle for Lifestealer early on. Then Slaughter gets a Blink Dagger, he becomes useful, and then you've got the global presence in the mid to late game of Nature's Prophet, that if you see like an Invoker farming in the jungle, you can just go in on him out of nowhere. So it'll depend on how this, I'd say the first 15 minutes or so are going to be very important at seeing which team is going to have an edge moving forward, more so than other games, just because of how kind of volatile a pick Lifestealer is against these heroes.
All right, well, getting into the game now, we'll see if that volatility is going to help or hinder them. The early TP out by the Slaughter to make sure that he's able to get down some wards. My goodness gracious. I always forget. They switched over the settings for it, so my hotkeys are all messed up. Lumi, I am going to just beat you with a sock full of marbles.
He turned on Edge Pan as well.
I turned that one off. Yeah, we got it. We're good. It's okay. I love me some Lumi. But yeah, placing out these wards, looks like Disruptor is going to be able to get one out there, although Milan is heading down to the south, so smokes might break, which would give a good bit of vision and understanding of where those wards are placed. I like this one on the Radiant. Gets a nice little view. You can't see it right now because the alt thing is not on, maybe? Or I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, it does block out that camp, I'm pretty sure, based upon the placement.
Yeah, and that amount of vision is probably going to be pretty important. I imagine that Milan is wanting to play aggressive against a PA because PA is not very strong early on, but if PA just has a +1, such as a Disruptor or such as a Sand King or such as an Earthshaker, then Slaughter all of a sudden loses a lot of power.
Rise might be dead.
He's
they're pulling him back in. And
yeah, he's dead.
First blood going to be given over to...
Oh, what a player. What? Give it to Kaiser. That's what I like to see.
All right, well done. I mean, there's no way that the fissure was going to be able to stop that from happening. No, and actually, Estijo first to burn through one of his clarities.
That's actually, yeah, a little bit surprising. He really wants to be able to get that level, or minute 0 block off onto one of the creep waves.
Well,
that's 50 gold.
Not what you would have liked to see from the very start of this one, but nonetheless, we will head off to the lanes, despite the early first blood given away to the Queen of Pain. And now a hero that was already so strong against this Invoker.
So strong, but you're a big Eric Dong fan, aren't you?
I am. I like some Eric Dong.
All right, then. I've some faith in 747. It's not, it's just, he loves a challenge.
I mean, no, for sure. It's fine and dandy for him to be able to get off to a good start. Or it's fine and dandy for him to be playing Invoker. The problem is that he's also ran into this other issue, and now 3-3 able to move in and take the Bounty Rune away as well.
Definitely a very strong start from Planet Dog. Probably one of the strongest starts you could ask for. Especially if they're able to get this PA kill.
Well, they're just going to start racking up the damage against Ace.
didn't go for the telekinesis. I don't know why.
Might not have been within range.
Yeah.
Not sure. Mid lane, though, they're going to give a little bit of help here to Eric Dong. The stun is going to come out, keeping Queen of Pain, the Kaiser back. The problem that I'm seeing right now is that Ace is going to be pressured under tower, does not have that Stout Shield bot, which would finish off the poor man's, and this is a big problem. The damage being racked up, he has a Salve and 2 Clarities, or rather 2 Tangos, and Rise only has 2 Tangos himself, so lack of regen in this lane could become a bigger problem.
True, but if a lot of focus is spent on Ace in this lane, then that means that Earthshaker is getting away with a lot more than he should be allowed to get away with against a Lifestealer. I was hoping, personally, that they would send the Sand King into the offlane against this Lifestealer, just because, like I said, if there's a melee core, then Sand King's going to have excellent laning phase. But they instead decide to send Earthshaker, and Earthshaker's very vulnerable to these support rotations. Fissure will not really matter against a telekinesis too much. Slardar can, you know, snake around the back of Earthshaker and get kills that way, so Earthshaker needs to play it very safe, and he doesn't even have any wards protecting him in this jungle. But right now, there's a focus on the other lanes. Rubik is protecting the Queen of Pain mid, and the Slardar is right now just chilling in the top lane.
Yeah, and you do end up having the 4-man shield done now for Ace, but still, the issue that you have is the continued spam under tower, 3-3 able to farm up the jungle creeps as well, and they're going to be forced to bring Noya all the way back here into lane. Does have 1 point in that caustic now, so the Treants might become
mid lane
a little bit of a
telekinesis
problem. How are they going to be able to get the first blood there?
Second
damage.
blood.
He is in trouble, and a little bit of a pause. Let's talk about it for a second.
You got to center your camera on the mid lane and watch this Invoker bite the dust.
I'm looking at this up top here as well. In 3-3, he does have a TP available to him, so if he does that right away, I think he's okay. He might even just be able to kill off Noya regardless. I don't know if they need to really worry that much.
No, I don't think you do.
Like, they're sprinting away for Slardar.
If anything, Nature's Prophet can just start walking away. Slardar's too big to deal with. He's got boots on this Slardar.
All right, we'll watch this here.
Yeah, so
747's gone, and Nature's Prophet TP's away.
Wow.
So they are going to be fine. Yeah, it was a good decision by 3-3 to get out of there, and he actually saves the teleportation so he can get right back to where he wants to, instead of having to use TP scroll.
Yep. And now...
Uh-oh, Hesta Joe is going to be able to TP away. He has to pop the mango to TP out. Man, that is just a lot of consumables used.
That is depressing. That means he's even further away from his soul ring, so he has to buy another mango after that. That actually really sucks, because he was pretty close to finishing off that soul ring. Mid lane, cold snap.
Yeah, Kaiser taking the damage. He is going to possibly go for a Sunstrike. No, I thought that might be the play, but not opting to go for it. Holding on to that point for now.
This is a miracle. You've raised your standard too high.
I thought you said you believed in
I
Eric
don't.
Dong.
That's
What
true,
the
that's
hell?
True, that's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, Disruptor is still level 1, being heavily pressured again by this combination of a dual off lane, and in the meantime, it's not really feeling like they are losing that much. Hestajo is not having himself an unbelievably good time here. He is losing the lane to the Lifestealer, and like ostensibly, if you compare what PA is getting, it's not like she's getting a ton either.
Yeah, it's a very strong laning arrangement for Planet Dog, and that's definitely accentuated by how the first few minutes of the first minute itself of the game had gone. And Invoker's just having a tougher and tougher time in this mid lane. Rubik doesn't really need to do anything. Top lane is under control between the Slardar and Nature's Prophet. Rubik can just kind of walk around, protect runes. If he manages to find Invoker in a bad position, they can go for a kill. But it looks like they might try just something in the top lane on Milan.
Now they're bringing in the Rubik as well. It looks like they're going to stop that now. They got level 2 on the Disruptor, which does lead into the Glimpse. Sunstrike, well, not really going to be able to finish that one off. But nonetheless, they do find that kill. Very important. 747. They have the Haster in there as well. They end up playing to pick it up. So Kaiser, no blink there available for him.
Yeah, he would have been pretty screwed there. He had no points in Wex. He's sitting on... Oh, okay, never mind. He just now put his 4th point into Quas, so I think he was sitting on his 4th skill point in case he needed to invoke Ghost Walk, but now there's an aggressive Dire Ward that spots out Rubik rotating and sees Queen of Pain, but Invoker's going to stay on the south side.
Oh. And it's not like he's getting completely destroyed mid. He's, what, 5 CS behind in terms of last hits, although this could be a bad way for it to go. 747, they get the cold snap off as well. It's starting to burn through, take down that Queen of Pain. The Sunstrike, again, not going to be there. At 747 is going to drop Kaiser.
Oh my God, the bottles.
Charging, trying to get
He's gonna
away.
blink! He's gonna blink!
Yep, he's able to get out of there.
And
Kaiser,
he gets a bounty rune bottle. Unless if Noya finds the Burrow Strike.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit unfortunate. He's dead now to the fissure. So it was a beautiful thing for a moment, but Noya puts the kibosh on that.
Yeah.
Maybe you just blink back to base. That's the way to do it, right? It's a pretty long blink range. You can get all the way out of there. Maybe not.
Well, at the very minimum, I think he could have blinked and then immediately started TPing after the blink, but regardless, he still got the kill on Invoker, and that's the most important thing, because it was 3 heroes rotating to protect the Invoker. Well, rather, the Sand King was already in the vicinity. Oh, bot lane has to Joe. Swift ending?
I think he's okay there.
Yeah.
Noya again is there to cover his tracks. He isn't. I don't know if he checked the mana levels of the Sand King, but he didn't have enough for the Burrow Strike. But yeah, so again, sort of the status quo of this game, you can see that they're continuing to apply this pressure to the Phantom Assassin, not wanting to let her get out of control, and it's sort of been the story of the game so far. For me, at least, as well as the Invoker struggling in the mid.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not really these days in Nature's Prophet's best interest to kind of go around participating in these gank attempts, because if you leave the lane alone, you kind of lose some of the advantage you have as a Nature's Prophet to just consistently keep up in levels, have more and more treants spawning. Like, you see how scared Disruptor is. He can't come close to this Nature's Prophet because these treants just do too much damage. So he's trying to find whatever levels he can in the jungle, but that means that PA isn't very well protected. PA is basically like half the CS of Lifestealer right now, and that is rough because Lifestealer not only has an earlier power spike than PA in my opinion, but he can still maintain a consistent lead over PA as the game progresses.
I mean, it's 2,000 net worth lead right now, and it's also like just the CS, all of the cores from the Radiant are out farming them.
Yeah.
I think that unless something changes rapidly with like the levels that you get, the team fights that come after this, you're going to have Planet Dog building this advantage and probably sustaining it.
Yeah, I imagine that the next step, because Lifestealer is getting so much farm, he's going to have this armlet completed very early. So, like I said, Queen of Pain is going to be the first vehicle, because Slardar is splitting farm with the Nature's Prophet right now, so he's not going to have a Blink Dagger for a while. But once Lifestealer starts going on ganking parties mid lane...
Well, Echo Slam, every damn thing used. The Sunstrike finds the kill, and that was definitely needed. So, making things turn back around and finding a little bit of life for himself.
Yeah, Earthshaker approached from the south side, and there's not really that... There's like no vision. There's one ward on the Radiant on the north side of the map, and that's it. So Queen of Pain was not very well protected. Swift Ending just figured Earthshaker left because, well, he was laning against a Lifestealer. It's not an easy lane.
Right. Okay. So they make the rotation. They find the kill. 8 minutes into it. Things starting to look a little bit better for Danish Bears. It does look like Kaiser and J4, they're all in the area. They want to try and hunt down, see if they can kill off Noya. Realize they're just going to sandstorm through. They bring in a bit of a Wrath of Nature and 3-3 in the area. Ace trying to find himself a place to Blink Strike to, and it's going to be completely surrounded, hemmed in, but the Fissure will secure his retreat for the moment. But well, Queen of Pain also causes trouble, holding on to that Sonic Wave. She will blink again. The Treant Micro. He has nowhere to go. Poor Rise.
And now Sand King coming back in. 2-hero Burrow Strike.
Sunstrike as well. They drop down the rock. There's a hell of a lot of damage. 3-3 is going to be brought down as well. Planet Dog fighting around Shrine. That was the big problem in that instance.
I mean, honestly, I think you're okay with that. Queen of Pain went down, but Lifestealer did not... Oh, wait, actually, Lifestealer has not really done that much damage to the Tier 1 tower.
No, this is not a good thing.
No, never mind. They had stayed way too long.
And Hesta Joe also is now almost at his Blink Dagger.
That got from bad to worse in a hot second. And the initial invasion was solid. The problem is Noya's so low level, he respawns very quickly on the Sand King. So they got him as the first kill. Ace showed up promptly after. He was lingering, waiting to toggle the shrine on, finally did. And then Earthshaker came in, landed a 4-hero Fissure. Promptly PA blinked out to him, and then you had basically bought enough time for the Invoker to come in, for the Sand King to respawn, and Lifestealer didn't really care to participate, and also did not really have any damage to deal to that Tier 1 tower on the bot lane.
How often do we see Invokers go double null tally?
It's not actually that uncommon. The main thing is that, like you said, against a Queen of Pain, it's kind of a difficult matchup, and so you're more concerned about, one, survivability for her burst. That extra null talisman gives you enough, just barely enough HP that you can like usually survive as Shadow Strike plus Scream of Pain and like some right clicks, whereas without that stat, you will probably be pretty screwed. But you won't turn it into a Veil or anything like that. It's just the early stats. He's going to go back for the Midas as per usual.
Alright. Well, in the meantime, it's going to still be him building towards that Hand of Midas, as you said, and ever so close to it. I guess that also now that your Earthshaker is getting closer to that Blink Dagger, when that comes online, the full combo coming from Hesta Joe, nobody's going to be safe on the map for Planet Dog. Like, Echo Slam is going to take care of all the creeps, and then you have the follow-up stuns to keep him in place for the Sunstrike.
Yeah, and that also means that Noya is given a free lane as well, which Noya on the Sand King is also getting very close to a Blink Dagger, which is super surprising because it doesn't really feel like the Sand King has been participating too much aside from that one fight near the Dire Shrine, but that Dire Shrine fight, as we can see, was a costly engagement.
I mean, it's just why this hero is so good. He's able to farm incredibly fast. He only has 9 last hits actually at this point, but it's just being also a part of those kills. And the last little bit of this Blink Dagger should be coming very shortly, either through Jungle CS or something else, as they get the glimpse back. Does not look like he's quite going to be able to catch him, and well, he's in trouble. Sprout is there, right clicks to boot. They block him in. They find the kill. They find the tower.
And they might proceed for tier 2. These Treants could draw aggro from the creep wave if that's what they choose to do, or they can just straight up push it. That works too.
Earthshaker has Blink now. He's going to go to the side shop, and they might come to try and contest this. With Epicenter available, if they wanted to try and TP in and take this fight, it would be quite strong.
But there's such good positioning from the Radiant. They're all split up so heavily.
He's TPing up to the Shrine. This is where they want to go for it. If they can even just block him up. Echo Slam onto 2. The Fissure should be able to block him out afterwards. They get the lift up first. That's going to be Rubik Dawn. Static Storm, or rather, hasn't ended up being used, and they are going to crush. That's going to be the kill. Onto 1 again. 747. They're gone. Like I said, no Static Storm at this point means Disruptor isn't going to be able to actually get the full assortment of damage out. Noya is gone as well.
Swift ending is massive, though. As great as that initiation was, it wasn't on the Lifestealer. If you were able to chain stun the Lifestealer, then the fight would have been completely different. Instead, it was the Rubik and the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet is a pretty tanky hero, and Rubik, as great as it would have been to have him in the fight, he really didn't have that much mana. So, as a support, he wasn't contributing too much. And so, even the initial combo didn't finish off the Rubik. They had to send one more hero to follow it up, and after that, Swift Ending just has his pick of the litter on what targets he wanted to go for. Invoker went down, Sonic Wave connected on probably 4 out of the 5 heroes, so it was a bit overzealous. The positioning on Radiant was just way too good.
I mean, it would have been fine again if, like, Disruptor's level 6 in that instance,
yeah,
but
that's
it's not
true.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
but you knew that. I mean, he's on your team. You know that's going to happen.
I know. Well, Burrow Strike comes out again. They are going to try and take down J4. Unfortunately, Swift Ending is there, and Hestajo is gone also. Now they dust. Now they find the Sand King, this guy who is so close to his Blink Dagger. He's going to try and back out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They can get the drums popped and just chase him down. Noya gone.
Didn't lose
Sad.
that much gold.
I mean, it's still a little bit there.
Yeah,
and like, for Sand King,
every little bit counts.
And more importantly, when they get back up, they need to be able to defend the push that's coming.
Yeah. I mean, if I were him, I would just sell the Calling Blade and the stick. He bought a TP, but I don't think that was necessary. But yeah, because Swift Ending, this is what I'm saying. The man, he was given a free lane.
They get it. Nicely done.
All right.
That puts him a little bit closer to it now. He can sell the Calling Blade if he wants to, and he'll have enough gold for it.
Yeah. They got a bomb on Nature's Prophet.
Chasing in. 747 is gone. Fissure will not dissuade them from going any further. Hestajo has to back out now. I mean, they're just running at him. They don't care.
You don't have to care. In fact, they might go for Roche now. You've got Corrosive Haze. You've got the medallion completed on the Nature's Prophet. It's a pretty easy target, but they're going to round out the last tier 1. This is free gold for them at this point, and for what it's worth, a failed Roche fight, especially against a Sand King who has now freshly completed his Blink Dagger, can very quickly turn around this 4k net worth lead that Planet Dog is currently holding on to.
Also, Echo Slam was back up. You had Disruptor Static Storm now. Even if they go for this push up top, I don't feel completely confident in it because you can see that obviously Danish Bears are going to want to contest this. And this is the opening where if you're not careful on Lifestealer, you might just end up dying. There it is. Jump forward. Static Storm is not going to be there at all.
Stolen Fissure.
All right. Now they're in trouble potentially. They actually blocked off Swift Ending in there. And like I said, Static Storm is there. It caught out, killed off that one. Sonic Wave as well.
Just used on Slardar though. Lifestealer's still alive. Queen of Pain is still alive. Rubik's still alive with a Fissure stolen.
They're jumping into 2. Ace is going to turn to fight. He has that. Vlad's getting the lifesteal. Be able to blink out afterwards. They're holding on to this tower. At least for now.
For now, and
Earthshaker's back up in 9.
They're not.
It's unlikely.
Yeah, Sand King is backing off. He still has Epicenter. but the PA is too low HP right now. She's lifestealing off of creeps. They're going to have to give up this tier 1 tower. And surprisingly, Invoker was not pushing out mid in the meantime. I mean, he was getting farm, but he wasn't really like spawning Forge Spirits and taking down the tier 1 tower to alleviate some of the pressure, because now, I mean, the rest of Radiant are still marching down tier 2 top now.
I think that this is still somewhat okay as long as they hold on to high ground. Like, this is the point in time where Invoker needs to be really careful, and like, you know, he'll activate up the catapult, send that out. He's getting closer and closer to the Aghanim Scepter. So as long as they can hold on to some form of high ground, they're going to be okay. And Alacrity Catapult actually took that tower very quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Oh, Burrow, they have division? Well, looks like Kaiser...
There's no chain stun without the Earthshaker. I mean, there is chain stun in general, but for these pick-off situations, the problem is you need to get that clean chain stun on the Queen of Pain, and you need to be able to get it on the Lifestealer, because Queen of Pain can blink out if you just don't stagger your stuns correctly. Lifestealer can immediately Rage or Infest if you don't stagger it correctly. And these are two heroes that are often on kind of different sides, as now there's Scan top lane.
Oh, here it is, Epicenter, everything dropped down. That's going to be the death of him. Everybody gets in on the action on that one.
Yeah, I would hope so. He was a pretty high net worth target, high level target, so it's a big benefit split. Yeah, still, yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying about a Roche fight going miserably wrong, but they are really ahead right now, and they don't really need to commit that much. You put some Treants inside the Roche pit, you have Nature's Prophet in the vicinity with the Medallion, you put Corrosive Haze on Roche. I'm pretty sure Swift Ending Lifestealer should be able to take it all by himself for the most part.
I mean, certainly he didn't want to be out there farming alone.
No, that's
in the wave.
also definitely not true.
So I am kind of seeing this moment now that's quite potent for Danish Bears to not control the map necessarily, but farm defensively on the heroes that need to, get into that next tier of items, and then they're going to be able to take that fight more effectively for themselves. And you're like getting towards the Force Staff soon as well for this Earthshaker. These are things that are not insignificant.
Yeah, and Invoker's another hero high on that list as well. Very quietly farming away, hasn't been participating in too many fights, but it's only 400 gold away from completing that Aghanim Scepter, so... Oh, never mind. Scratch that. Initiation onto him in the bot lane. A big ol' Slardar bomb.
Yeah, this is the power. And Burrow Strike, they aren't going to be able to actually find this kill, though. They need to back out of there. Well, Static Storm, he didn't actually get the Rage off now, but Echo Slam completely whiffed. Hesta, Joe, that's not the way you want it to go. They will kill off the Lifestealer, since they brought in a couple more by virtue of that Shrine. Milan trying to juke and jive his way out of there. And with Kaiser showing up, the rest of Danish Bears will back. Rise still taking damage. Doesn't want to go for the glimpse, though.
I think the main thing keeping Danish Bears in the game right now is how well coordinated their whole team is. Every single time one person is initiating, there's very prompt follow-up. I haven't seen like a single time that one hero randomly goes in, you're like, what was he doing there? Why is his team not reacting or anything? Danish Bears are playing very well coordinated, and I guess they were not expecting that on the side of Planet Dog. They had a Lifestealer bomb, and they thought it was just one clean kill they could get out, but that was not the case.
Yeah. Alright. I guess because they glimpsed back the Lifestealer, right? That was the play that happened?
Yeah, because Lifestealer used Rage to finish off the Invoker, which is understandable, but Nature's Prophet was kind of reluctant on TPing in, because they were like, oh, you got that kill on Invoker, what do I need to show up for? But then as soon as the kinetic field was fully formed and it was confirmed that Lifestealer was stuck in it, then Nature's Prophet was like, oh great, I have to show up to this fight now. But it was too late. Lifestealer was already dead.
And now Ags finished off, so in spite of that gank that came by virtue of the Lifestealer and Fest Bomb, they might be able to find another one here. Oh, they break the smoke on the PA, and now they realize it. They are not going to get a very good combo off, though, and well, actually ended up glimpsing out the Slardar from his death, but I think that's fine. You save your PA, you use the Infest Bomb, you keep holding high ground. Do you think that they have the better late game going out to it? Because that's how I feel like Danish Bears are playing right now, is that they're playing for the late game more so than other stuff.
They have a hint at winning late game, but I've said it before in different games, I'll say it again here, it's heavily dependent on the initiation that they get.
Oh god, this is big. Milan is going to scout them out as they move in, but
Static Storm is down, though, for another minute.
so too is Echo Slam. They get the stun onto 2. Sonic Wave onto 4. Queen of Pain hits that
They
one
don't even
big.
care to finish
This
off.
could be a bit of a problem, though.
They're just like, go away, let us finish this Roche.
It looks like they are going to just hold the line for the moment, and that is going to be, well, Danish Bears walking back in again. Static Storm 35 seconds away. They stun again. There's the jump forward. They have a Burrow Strike to boot. That's going to be a dead Earthshaker, and Swift Ending also in trouble. 747, excuse me, is making the trouble himself. Rise is going to be caught, going to be killed off. I don't understand how that series of events goes down in that fashion. They get the neutral creep deny on J4, triple kill for Swift Ending. Like, you do one or the other. You go in as a team, you take that fight, but you don't go in, get Sonic Wave, don't shrine back up, and then walk back in again just to die all as one.
And that was right after I was praising them for, I mean, well, they were extremely well coordinated at bad plays. Like, they were all on the same page for the same poor play, in my opinion. Maybe the Shrine had come up like the millisecond after they came in, but like they all ate a ton of damage, and Earthshaker definitely was not back at full HP whenever he got crushed yet again. And the first time Slardar crushes on that high ground, you know they have a ward on that high ground. This ward near the Radiant, near the Dire Shrine was what told Slardar, like, oh, okay, PA TP'd in, they want to contest this Roche. Sonic Wave came out, and then they went back onto that same high ground, Danish Bears, and they were like, wait, what if we did the same thing, but with 4 heroes instead of 5 heroes because our Earthshaker just died?
I mean, in fairness, like, you feel the need to go and contest that Roshan. I think that in a lot of ways, in a vacuum, where in a world where you have your ultis, is the correct move. And you can feel the pressure of these best of ones, particularly in a match that it's this important, but they definitely got punished for it, and now they're probably going to be punished further because you have a Planet Dog pushing down their tier 2 and probably going to be going for high ground.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, they don't have the best high ground defense on the side of Danish Bears, so if you just slap an Aegis onto Lifestealer, there's not very much that Danish Bears can do to discourage it. Invoker's a little bit too high cooldown dependent right now. PA doesn't do anything really to quickly mow down creep waves, and Earthshaker and Sand King's spells to get rid of creep waves are too valuable to waste on just a bunch of creeps as they initiate on a Earthshaker illusion. But yeah, they've still got plenty of time left on this Aegis of Queen of Pain.
It's a little bit interesting that they stuck it on the Quap instead of the Lifestealer. It's less effective for like the Rage TP plays that you might have seen. I guess the thought here is that
manning pretty much, and so like if Queen of Pain throws her life away for initiation, it's worth it more. If Swift Ending dies first, there's no situation where Swift Ending dies first. He will die last, and then he'll just gonna die twice last.
Right. And I guess it also is indicative of trying to finish off the other outer towers
also
first.
True, yeah.
So Ace building back now towards the Manta, realizing that this Queen of Pain has gone in for that Orchid. Need to find some way to make sure you can still cast your spells.
That and Corrosive Haze on the Slardar. And these are, like, you rarely want to have to go for an item like this early on as a Phantom Assassin. I'm actually surprised that he's not opting for the BKB instead. Because there's a lot of, like Queen of Pain, if she gets like a Scream of Pain or two, it will completely obliterate all the illusions. So the offensive capabilities of Manta are pretty useless. But again, like you said, Danish Bears seem to be playing for the late game, and if you build a BKB on PA this early on, then it's going to hit 5 seconds way before you need it to. So Manta style kind of buys you time by covering the same ground just in a crappier way.
Oh no, Rise. Oh no. Yeah. They're blocked in by the trees. They're going to come and stop that from happening, but honestly, if they're not careful, they just might end up losing a few more. They are not going to be able to get that crush, but they might be able to find themselves a tasty little 747. We'll see. Nah, he's getting the TP out of there. They drop down a kinetic field as well. They got him for the moment, and Rise, yeah, he's gone. That's no way out of that one.
Thankfully, Earthshaker just barely gets out. Swift, they split targets. Nature's Prophet had gone onto the Disruptor. Swift Ending had gone to the Earthshaker, but Earthshaker just barely got a blink off after he was slowed by open wounds.
Alright, so let's try and build some type of, let's figure out where we're sitting right now for Danish Bears. It's not looking pretty. There's a lot of problems right now, but their high ground defense is still quite potent. It's not really likely for everybody to just like run down a lane and take it. They need a little bit more finesse in their pressure from Planet Dog to actually finish the game, I would imagine.
it'll take very careful positioning, much as how we saw them kind of randomly targeted around that mid-tier 2. It's going to take that kind of creative positioning to survive a high ground siege. Because like I said, the creep wave capabilities, creep clearing capabilities of Danish Bears is not strong, but the initiation capabilities in a high ground defense situation are extremely strong. And so if Planet Dog have poor positioning, then they will very quickly get punished. But if they just slow siege it, let Lifestealer attack with rage, use Treants to break Blink Daggers on the Sand King and the Earthshaker, then it's a lot easier to be able to just chip down a tower than go for a full-on push.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think that that's something that's not always as easy to execute, particularly if you are caught up in the moment potentially and feeling like there's an opening that exists and maybe your Slardar jumps in, takes somebody with you. All of the sudden, maybe even though there's all that careful planning, it could fall apart regardless. And they have decent vision that are around this area. You got a high ground ward that's up here on the top. So if they do decide to push through the top lane, they'll be able to scout that out. And now with the smoke gank showing the Invoker in the top lane here, this is actually has some potential to bear fruit. And a Sunstrike is more than enough. If they run a Swift Ending first, it's
they
still
don't have
tough.
any vision. They just had that one cliff ward, and all these camps have been farmed out. Now the rest of the Radiant team have moved to the secondary jungle as a unit, so they are expecting some sort of aggression. Yes, they are showing the Invoker, but like you said, he can contribute to Sunstrike anywhere. Planet Dog recognized that, and there's no reason that he would have to show up in the fight, especially since Invoker also has BOTs. So they attempted to bait it, but Planet Dog are just too on the ball right now and did not fall for that smoke gank.
So 27 minutes in, a 9,000 net worth lead, and, well, another smoke gank, this time by Planet Dog.
You see these treants staggering throughout the map.
Yeah.
They all want to find something, and the first squad has gone posted up on the north side of the map. Now the Delta squad is going in the south side of the map, and they're about to find a PA.
Oh, this is bad. They run into Rise as well. The smoke is going to break. They run into one. Crush, gone. Disruptor, nothing used at all. Ace is out of there as well. The silence come. Manta not nearly there in time. And Hestejo Rotten also in trouble. 747 is going to maybe go down. And, well, they weren't able to take down that Earthshaker, but got pretty damn near everybody else.
I give 33 a lot of credit to that play, even though like he's just a Nature's Prophet. The Treants scouting was critical, because they were initially migrating to the north side of the map, and that's where you would expect them to be. That is their jungle. It's less likely they'll be in your jungle, but 33 sent 2 Treants. PA just, tossed a dagger, and whenever you see a PA down in your jungle, and you don't see anyone else in their own jungle, then you're like, okay, there's no way that she's just farming this by herself. So Slardar approached from the opposite side, initiated onto the Disruptor, and actually ended up eating a fat crit from PA and died in the end to the Invoker, but that's a worthy sacrifice for the greater good of killing all these cores on the side of Danish Bears.
And I will say, again, you've got this Invis Queen of Pain here. There's an opportunity for an overextension if Planet Dog feel too big for their britches. But it seems highly unlikely they're actually going to be able to like fully kill off anybody. You got BKB done on Kaiser as well, so all the magical damage is becoming less and less potent also. And
yeah, and you've got a BKB on 33 as well.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where, unless something changes drastically and there's some big misplays by Planet Dog, it might just be in the bag.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I'm glad that both the Queen of Pain and the Nature's Prophet had built BKBs. That's like sometimes. BKB is not a flashy item. BKB is not a fun item by any means, but it is a game-winning item more often than not, especially when you have such a healthy lead right now. It's 30 minutes in. They've got a bunch of 10 and 9-second BKBs, and what is a Sand King? Like, it doesn't matter if you have a Force Staff and a Blink Dagger on this Earthshaker. It doesn't matter if you have a Blink Dagger on this Sand King. You can just siege with BKB. You can get vision with Treants, and you should be able to take a tier 3 relatively easily, but
look at this. This has been amazing. The vision right now from Planet Dog, and you talked about it earlier, the Treants, and the thing, they scouted out the exact direction that the smoke gank was coming. Slardar is going to be there to try and break it. Milan, the whole thing.
That's okay.
They are fine with that. Use everything that you want.
They're fine with that because Slardar, Lifestealer was not in him.
Exactly. Like, this is perfectly okay. And now you are in a ton of trouble with the rest of the Dire. You're dead to Disruptor. You have already used everything except for Epicenter as far as ultis are concerned. Sand King's dead. I don't know. I feel like Planet Dog can make use of this at this point now and
To
probably
say the
push.
least.
Like I don't know how you stop the pressure now.
They, I think, may wait for the next Roche. There's technically no reason not to. But yeah, they are 12k up, and it is very, very solid for them. A lot of people who were looking at the standings after day one, they were like, there's a question being asked for a lot of regions. I know in CIS a lot of people are like, who the hell is M19? In EU people are like, who the hell is Planet Dog? These are, so this squad in particular is actually, oh, top lane.
Yeah. Seeing if they could find a little something.
47.
He's in trouble. He's got the Yule Scepter, but seems unlikely to do anything unless the Earthshaker does a hell of a lot of work, but no, not going to be there. And now it might just even be Hestajo who's going to end up falling instead. Able to steal himself away in Totem, not the best thing in the world, but nonetheless, it's another 2 heroes brought down, and the path to Roshan open now.
Spawning very, very quickly. Probably going to post up Milan inside there, but yeah, this is, so the squad is X. Well, I don't even know if it's X. They may still be playing under the tag later on, but this is 4 out of the 5 players of Pro Dota Gaming. And Swift Ending, supposedly his most recent roster, I believe, was on Elements Pro Gaming. I think Pro Dota's one position is Garter, G-A-R-T-E-R. But yeah, this is it's a squad that shows up very frequently and wins a lot of like online tournaments. Yeah. So everyone will see Secret lands, but there are a lot of teams that are still quietly grinding away because, I mean, like, since Secret does show up to lands, they also don't play very many qualifiers. They may not be playing as many matches as Pro Dota or other qualifier teams, and so it's not, I don't find it too surprising that Secret is not, like, completely dominating the stage.
Well, they lost again to the Mouse Sports team, which is like the reason that one ended up happening. Well, it happened because of like a super like cheesy strat that was, I think, like Lycan Nature's Prophet all in push type of thing, if I remember correctly. And so it was sort of an aberration, and it wasn't based upon bad play. But I would completely agree with you that this team, Planet Dog. And I think I remember like so many Swift Ending Slark games when I was casting in JDL stuff that he was just like a mainstay of that scene. But yeah, anyways, I agree. It's cool to see them do well. I don't think that the game is completely over at this stage. They haven't broken racks yet, but it is about as close as you can get to it.
Yeah, that was the second Roche, so Cheese is up and running on Queen of Pain. They have now put the Aegis on the Lifestealer, which is definitely the right choice since he can just rage up, slap away at the tower. He does not have a Desolator. Actually opted for an MKB and then went for a Assault Cuirass after that. It's understandable. Queen of Pain did not go for anything like a Bloodthorn. She only has the Orchid right now, so you need to be able to kill the PA. Even though she's not dealing that much damage right now, you still don't want to have to worry about her tossing daggers and stuff like that and like hit and running. So yeah, he wants to just finish off that PA as soon as he gets an opening.
Alright, well, here we go. Ice Wall drop down. Daggers doing absolutely nothing to Swift Ending. Does need to be a little bit careful as the rage wears off. Actually going to be blocked in now. A little bit of a scary time, but there's going to be the force tap to keep him alive. The Disruptor glimpses him back in, jumps inside of a creep, and showing off the number of ways in which Lifestealer is going to be able to survive. Burrow Strike missed through the rage. Wow. Good timing by Swift Ending, but again, not going to have it up in a second. They will be able to possibly make something of this. Glimpses back up, and Milan going to be dragged in. They're going to end up possibly losing the Lifestealer here. Is it going to be enough damage? Sunstrike, does he stand on it? Not quite. So he gets out as well.
Okay, so what Swift Ending did is not easy to do, like, at all. He initially was trying to, I believe, infest into the Slardar, which is Slardar came by. So basically, Lifestealer was sieging. Then he got Fissure blocked, which is really, really good timing by Hestajo and really good positioning as well, because he got it like pixel perfect. So Swift Ending was like, alright, great. Nature's Prophet was ready with the Force Staffs him over the Fissure. Then, immediately Disruptor goes for the Glimpse. Rage has already been down for a while because Rage was used to siege the tower to begin with and break through an Ice Wall. Then after that, the glimpse came through, and the fissure timed out, so Slardar was like, okay, you can infest in me, we'll get out. Instead, Swift Ending just infested in the creep, survived, and as you said, just showing the variety of ways that Lifestealer is going to be able to munch on your tower without really even getting close to consuming that Aegis.
Totally. And now you're in a situation, too, where the same thing can happen again. You get a couple more swipes on that tower. It does show that it's not easy, and 1 or 2 crits could end up changing the whole state of this, but with that Solar Crest laid down, they use the fissure a little bit early this time, potentially. They will have the Force Staff after the fact. They go in for the Infest play, and just like that, Lifestealer is out. That's the easier way to do it.
Yeah, again, Lifestealer timed it perfect, but again, Sand King is trying really hard. He went in basically the millisecond that Rage was about to time out, but Swift Ending knows this. As soon as Rage was about to time out, he hopped into a creep. There's no reason to risk it. Infest is not being used for anything else other than to just keep you alive, and it's going to be back in 25 seconds. Still, Aegis has not been claimed. I'm a little bit surprised that Aegis Prophet's not split pushing right now, instead just opting to stick around, but I think it's because he has the Force Staff and no one else does. So he needs to stick around and make sure that Lifestealer has like multiple methods of escaping.
Yeah, also not to mention just being able to be in that position with the Solar Crest. I think that that's a pretty important part of this.
True. Oh wow, that dagger was actually a little bit silly. They kind of show that they have a high ground ward now.
There is going to be Swift Ending again, taking some damage. We'll see if they do decide to go for the D ward. There's the jump in, Static Storm down. It's only silencing 1, and that was the Slardar, who's still fine. My God, that Disruptor just takes so much damage. He's just getting melted. Swift Ending, no regard for human life.
So who has the critical on this team? Is it Lifestealer?
Does
he have coup de grace? Is this ability draft?
And he's just going to be able to keep hitting away at this. Hesejo looking for the opening. There's going to be the Echo Slam, the Sunstrike there as well. They're trying to deal the damage, but it's just not enough. Hesejo going to be brought down as well. This is looking terrible. The amp damage, rather Corrosive Haze is there. They get another one. This game is over. It's done.
This game is over. And, I mean, I think both teams played well. I don't really think that Danish Bears had a significant draft loss. I don't think that they could have really done that much different to lane it. It's just that you're looking at a team that could potentially qualify for TI, and it feels like that. Planet Dog are a very clean team right now.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it. Planet Dog are going to win. They continue their streak.
5-1.
It's a good one for them. And again, the last couple of games here, as you get down to the wire in the group stage, is going to determine who it is that gets that direct slot into TI. Big things on the docket. I'm excited to see what ends up going. Tsunami, we'll bring ourselves back on camera because everybody just loves to look at our lovely faces.
More than the scoreboard, I'm sure.
Final thoughts here on what you're thinking for the EU stuff. What are we... Who do you feel like is the team to beat pretty much outside of Secret? And I guess the real question is, do you think these other teams are enough of a contender that Secret need to be worried?
Planet Dog is 100% contender that Secret needs to be very concerned about. I don't know if Dog has played Secret, actually. Let me see if Dog... No, Dog has not played Secret.
Right.
So, actually, I want to see when that match happens. Planet Dog versus Team Secret will happen... Oh, it's not happening for a while, actually.
Later on today, but
Later on today. And in about 5.5 hours, you're going to see what I think is probably going to be the best match of the EU qualifiers. But aside from that, there are a lot of not that great teams in EU, so I can understand why a lot of people are not giving the region very much focus, because it's not like all 10 teams in the region are all fighting tooth and nail. It's more like 4 teams are really fighting tooth and nail right now. But those 4 teams are strong contenders. Now, I don't know how they will fare against, like this is the issue with Southeast Asia as well. Southeast Asia often looks really great in Southeast Asia, but then you put them into an international LAN, and all of a sudden they are not looking that great.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be the big question mark. I think Secret have proven that they are one of those internationally strong teams regardless, and maybe it is just needing that experience for these other teams as well to put them over the edge and gain an invite to TI would certainly be the way to do that. But I think that's going to do it for us. Lyrical Tsunami, your 2 casters for this one. I think that we're coming back again for another match in just a second.
Coming up after this match, we're going to have Penta versus, again, Planet Dog. So can Planet Dog turn it into a 6-1? We'll see.
All right, see you guys in just a few minutes. Going to play some ads, give you some sellout. See you guys in a bit.
For every